Welcome everyone. This is Binford Games Kerbal Space Edition, first mission. Um, Looking at seeing what we can do. I got a various assortment of mods I'm using in Kerbal Space Program um, that I'll sort of introduce as I go along here. And we're looking to launch some satellites into space. Right now on the ground, actually, is what we're looking at. But let's go ahead and see where we get with this. So this is my first planetary communication extender, Range X1. Got the interplanetary satellite dish on top, along with three 50K antennas as well. Those will allow the range extenders to talk to each other. I've got four other medium range ones to talk to different spacecraft. I got the lander book there. This is my boost phase. Got a large tank on there with some solid boosters as well. Now just so you know, I do use MechJeb for a lot of my launches as well as maneuvers, and this is simply because you don't want to see a lot of this. So it's not to say I can't fly, it's just that I'm not great at it, and I don't think you just want to watch a bunch of me crashing spaceships, basically. So here's the first launch. What I'm wanting to do here is sort of land on all the land masses around the equator first off, a line of communications, planetary communication extenders. That way, any satellites in future that I'll be launching, they'll be all unmanned probes, and we'll be able to point the dishes at each other and get some satellites into space without any Kerbals dying, hopefully. That's the goal anyway. Right now the current rocket I have is a 3-stage, and this current design I can get just about to the end of the next continent with, I think. Actually doing if you notice on my inclination, I'm doing a 180. That's because I want to go west. If you look at the globe there, I'm trying to move my endpoint on the far side. I'm not going to be landing on the current continent that I'm on, but I'm going to be landing on the next continent over. That's my goal anyway. So we'll just see. My goal is not to get into space, so that's why my altitude is somewhat low at the moment. At this point, I'm not really sure how far I'm going to get. It's sort of just a trial to see how much I can get out of my current design. So I think with this one, I can see I have plenty of fuel to get further, but I'm just going to try aiming for that little peninsula there. See if I can land it there. So I just want to get the endpoint just a bit further away from the center of the landmass. Because it tends to, when you try to land something, you have to overshoot it a bit. Since you're still in the atmosphere, you're going to get a lot of air resistance, atmospheric resistance. Just sort of drifting at this point. Got exactly where I want it there, so I'm just going to go ahead and detach that fuel at the back there. So I don't need that anymore. And so from here on out, it's an unpowered landing. I've got several parachutes. Let's just hope the top doesn't break off, because that wouldn't be good. I'm slightly concerned, just making sure. Got my action group set up, and there we go. It's working. So you'll see my surface speed is starting to slow down quite a bit now. I think the main concern I have is whether or not the top is going to break off once the parachutes catch. Because if you see, it's not a lot of heavy stuff on the bottom, but those batteries, I think, are about half a Kerbal mass unit, maybe. Coming down, not quite straight, but I think once the parachutes deploy, we should be okay. So go ahead and turn off the mech jet stuff, because we don't need to see that anymore. Should hopefully catch. Here we come, I think. Yep. Hey! Success. We haven't fallen apart. Still a bit lopsided, but since this ground is relatively flat, it should be fine. We have touchdown. This mission so far is a success. I'm going to go ahead and deploy all the solar arrays and activate all the antennas. Oh, I see a bit of a design problem there with those little satellite dishes. You can't really stick them snug up with a craft if there's parts there, so I'm going to have to close all of those dishes. So unfortunately, this one's not going to be very great at talking with other spacecraft or other range extenders from those 4 antennas. They're sort of useless at the moment, so I only have 4 antennas here to work with. But I'm going to go ahead and point the one to the mission control, one of those shorter extender ones, and then I'm going to point the big one to the moon at the moment. Yep, so first mission, not too bad. We were able to land on another continent at least, and we'll go ahead and continue in future to keep landing further and further out and try to put at least a ring around the planet, so that way once I launch satellites in, they'll always have something to point at. We might improve some of the design on this, because I did notice a few things I didn't like. That's it for today's episode. If you liked the video, please rate. If you have any comments or suggestions, leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe if you enjoy the videos that I'm putting out. Alright, thanks for watching.